What's up everyone, welcome to another unboxing video of mine. Now today we are going to unbox my new motherboard, which is the Asus Republic of Gamers Maximus 8 Formula. Now that is an absolute mouthful. Jesus Christ, why did they have to give it such a long name? But anyway, before we unbox this, what I'm going to say is, if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. But if you disliked it, don't just hit the thumbs down button. Leave a comment in the little box below and let me know where I went wrong, why you disliked it, things like that. I will take on all your criticisms, but, well, if you're a troll, you can bog off. So, if you watched my previous video of why my 4790K didn't work, you'll know that the reasons why I've gone to Skylake. Now, another reason why I'm going to Skylake is because of the RAM. Now this was gifted to me, very fortunate, and it's 64 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. Massive amounts, way overkill for gaming, probably overkill for the amateur videos I'm doing on here, but it was a gift and I love it. Processor I'm going to be putting on the motherboard, i7 6700K, so there she is. Now them two, I won't do an unboxing for them two because, oh look at, there's the processor, that's what you get inside of that one, and you get 4 bits of RAM inside there. But today what we're going to unbox is the motherboard. Now I'm going to move the camera about, so as I show you the sides of the box first, I'll talk through what illustrations it's got in the box and obviously list the features that the motherboard's got that is listed on the box as well. So I'm going to whip out the unboxing table and I'll be right back. Okay, so what we've got, oh, excuse the light, what we've got is the front. Now basically very simple colouring, product name, Republic of Gamers logo, very simple on the top part. Now on the bottom section what we have are a nice little sticker to say that we've got 15-day premium account on World of Warships, which is very nice. I've not actually played that, but I might consider playing that now. Icons on the bottom telling you the chipset is a Z170, supports Intel Core inside. So obviously not all Intel Core insides, you do have to make sure that this is the Skylake socket or whatever future processors come out. You have to check the sockets. Supports NVIDIA SLI, Crossfire, and it supports Windows 10. Now the other logo, which is the EK logo, I want to talk more about that, but basically that is a brand that specialises in custom water cooling. So that's a nice little list of icons, the bare bones of what the motherboard can do, what it supports, things like that. Now, the sides of the motherboard, again, just product name, Asus Republic of Gamers logos, goes for the same on the other side, and also your sticker with all your batch numbers and things like that. So moving on to the back, what we have is, again, product name, logo, then underneath that you've got 4 illustrations. Now these pictures are just showing a few of the features on the motherboard. So the first one, it's got a photo of the EK logo that's actually on the heatsink, and it basically says the design name, which is Cross Chill. That's obviously the name given to the whole partnership working with EK, and that's what they came up with. Now next one's on about the lighting control, which I'll probably do a separate video about once the whole system is up and running. Next we have the Wi-Fi, which on this motherboard has an extremely strong Wi-Fi solution. And then a very nice picture showing the armour on the front and also the rear of the motherboard, because this motherboard comes with a back plate. You never see it, but it gives it some weight and it does make the motherboard feel expensive. Underneath that, what you've got is basically the specs of it. I'm trying to mess about with the light, you see, that's why I keep moving it. So on the left hand side, what you've got is CPU. It tells you what socket it has fitted, and it supports 6th generation Intel Core processors. So basically what you do is you go online. If you're thinking about this motherboard or you've got hold of this motherboard, you can go online, see what processors it supports, things like that. Below that, saying that it's the Intel Z170 Express chipset. Below that, it's got all the supported speeds for the RAM, which is a maximum of 64 gigabytes, which I just happen to have by chance. Speeds all the way up to 3733 megahertz. I will not be anywhere near that. In fact, I'm on this bottom row here. Mine's 2800 megahertz. So big step up from my current DDR3 RAM that I'm using in my current system, which is 2133 megahertz, which happens to be the slowest speed on DDR4. Also mentions there it supports extreme memory profile XMP. Below that, we've got the expansion slot. So we've got two PCIe's at 3.0 times 16 slots. Basically, with the top CPU that fits on this, the 6700K, that only supports 16 lanes on the PCIe. So what that means is when you're running two graphics cards, you'll have this at times 8 on both of them. But if you're using a single graphics card, you can have times 16. Then underneath you've got one PCIe 3.0 at 16 slot, which runs at a maximum at 4x mode. Then below that you've got three smaller PCIe 2.0 slots. So next, integrated graphics, which, you know, it's a feature that's there, but I won't be using it because I have dedicated graphics cards. But basically says it has a DisplayPort 1.2, HDMI 1.4b, and supports Intel InTrue 3D Quick Sync video, Clear Video HD technology, and Insider. Now the multi-GPU configurations this supports underneath is two-way SLI, but also if you've got a graphics card which has two NVIDIA GPUs, so basically it's SLI on a single graphics card, you can have two of them. So basically this will run all of that in quad SLI. It has that support. Then obviously the AMD, it supports three-way and quad GPU Crossfire, which I've never had the pleasure of trying Crossfire. Hopefully with the Polaris coming out, I may have a look at one. I may do a little review of one and see if I can get hold of one. Now below that you've got your back panel I/O ports, which has a nice little diagram to go next to it. So what you have is you have one clear CMOS button on the back, which is very handy. Below that you've got the BIOS flashback button, again, which is handy, which is a feature that I may talk about in the future. Has the Asus Wi-Fi Go. Now the Wi-Fi this supports is 802.11 A, B, G, N and AC, but on these it also has Bluetooth version 4.0. And then underneath them you have your DisplayPort and your HDMI port. Then what you've got is a total of six USB 3.0 ports, and then you have two USB 3.1 ports. One of them's Type A and the other one is a smaller Type C. You then have a Ethernet port, which on this one is an RJ45, which supports anti-surge. Below that, next to these two USB ports, you've got your traditional PS/2 keyboard and mouse combo port. Below that, you've got all your sound. So you've got 5 gold plated audio jacks, and you've also got an optical out on this motherboard if you want to run, say, a home theatre system. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the motherboard. Obviously on the bottom it's got basically a list of more features. Got Game First technology, network optimized system for no delayed gameplay, Supreme FX 2015, finest audio inside and out, Aurora, which is the software that the Asus are pushing out now to control all the LEDs. Then you've got ROG RAM cache, which I'm not too sure about that I might have to look into that. And then you've got Extreme Engine Digi Plus, the purest power digitally controlled. So now, believe it or not, this box doesn't just have the 4 sides, it opens up as well. So we're going to have a look inside. Okay, so I've opened it up and excuse the light. What we have got on this side, we've got a closer picture showing the various colours of LEDs. Not sure if you can see that. You see it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue and then purple, which is very nice for customization. Again, shows the formula lit up here and logo lit up, things like that. Also shows circles here where the light strip header is. Now underneath it has got the, talks about the cross chill EK, gives a split down diagram of the cooling block, the heatsink, sorry. Underneath that it talks about the Game First technology and the Wi-Fi Go. Talks about a brief description of what Wi-Fi supports. Supports up to 867 megabytes per second, which is pretty quick. I mean, I have the fastest speed I can get in this area and that's still only about 200 megabytes, just under. So yeah, the Wi-Fi, that I don't normally use Wi-Fi, but I might give this a test, might see how it performs. Now on the right hand side it talks about the experience, so it talks about software that's bundled into this. So you've got AI Suite 3, which controls your fans, you can control your overclocks, things like that. Very handy piece of kit. Then you've got the CPU Z program, which gives you a lot of information about your PC, but on this one it comes with the ROG skin. Then has Mem Tweak It, which obviously tweaks your memory. It comes with an antivirus, comes with daemon tools, web storage and Overwolf. Might talk about the various softwares you get with this, I might not, so keep an eye out for some videos. But if you want to see them sort of videos, just hit the comments below and I might do you one. Now below that what we've got is Keybot 2. So what this means is you can give your keys on your computer a function, a bit like a macro key, shall we say, but it will directly control the motherboard. So for example, if your computer's switched off, you can hit the enter button and it will boot up your PC. And then on the very bottom, what talks about the Supreme FX. Now, Republic of Gamers like to push the Supreme FX, like to say about the codecs used, talks about the onboard DAC, dedicated clock, talks about the high-end capacitors, it's pretty much a really good audio solution on this, and I am thinking about using this, as I am currently only using the speakers on my monitor, which is the 2-watt speakers on the PG279Q. So, and on the other side you get your first look at the motherboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack this box open and we're going to have a look inside, and we're going to see what you get for your money. Okay, so now sat back down on the sofa bed, got the table in front of me, I'm going to crack this open. Okay, so inside the main box, you have got further 2 boxes. I'll show that one on one side. One box has got your motherboard in, which I'll shut this one to one side for now. I'll get some close-ups of that. So you've got this little box here, little box of tricks, and as you can see, you've got all your bits and bobs, things you need. So first compartment comes with 4 SATA cables. These are basically for your optical drives, your storage device, your storage drives, solid state drives, things like that. In fact, I'll shut them over here. So back here you've got, in your little compartment, you've got a tool which helps you install your CPU. This is very handy. I've never used one before, but I'm gonna use this one this time. What this does is it basically helps you put your CPU into your motherboard, into the CPU slot on the motherboard, and it's meant to prevent damage in case you might slip, you might drop it, you might bend the pins on the motherboard. So I'll try it, I'll give it a whirl, see what it's like. Next you've got the traditional Republic of Gamers SLI bridge, which, if you've seen my system before, I've got the beefier Republic of Gamers SLI bridge, so that will go to my collection of flexible bridges. And then you've got a little standoff, it looks like a standoff and a little screw. And over here you've got your dual band Wi-Fi moving antenna. So basically you've got a little bit of wire, you've got 2 gold connectors for the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, and this is designed to be out of sight and out of mind. Like I say, I won't be using the Wi-Fi, not yet anyway. This little connector, basically the connectors off your case, you'll drop the pins on here, and in the tight spot this will help you plug it into the motherboard instead of fiddling about with 10 tiny little connectors off the case. Then after that, what you've got is this is the extension cable for the RGB header. So you plug this into your light strip, and then obviously you've got plenty of cable there. There's about 30 centimeters cable, I think, so you can hide it, you can wire it around your power supply, whatever. Moving on to the last compartment, you've got the Bible, obviously a nice thick user guide, tells you all about the software. It talks about the layout of the motherboard, connectors, how to go about overclocking. Gives you, this is valuable, so don't ever lose this. And obviously just inside the first page you've got your driver disc for the motherboard, and also the software that's included with the motherboard. Underneath that we have got a nice shiny I/O shield, and I have to say this is a nice one. It's a nice shine on it. I don't know, I doubt it'll pick it up, but along the top of it, it says Republic of Gamers. It's too shiny for the camera. But yeah, that is pretty nice. It's a shame that you don't ever see these. There's a lot of effort gone into designing this. Nice little cushion on the back of it, I like that. It's little things like that that show the value of this motherboard. But this is the novelty thing that you get. It's a little door hanger. So on one side it says game on, you shall not pass. The other side, game off, you may enter. Not sure how my girlfriend will react with that one. So next what you've got is you've got a few stickers. You've got stickers for your fans. So you put these on the centres. Just the Republic of Gamers logo. These, on the other hand, these go on things like your keybot stickers. So if you assign a key to for example, if you wanted a certain key to overclock the CPU instantly, you've got a little sticker for that key. You've also got stickers for the cabling. So say like if you put your hard drive onto a certain SATA cable and you want to know what cable it is when it comes round the case and over to the motherboard, you can attach stickers on, things like that. So looks like we've got a lot of little paperwork now. So we've got the first one is safety information in every language going, obviously important. Then you've got the quick start guide. Obviously gives very basic diagrams of how to get up and running. So again, that is pretty important. Quick reference to that. And then you have got the warranty card. Obviously you fill this out, you put your name, address, things like that in, and yeah, that's how you keep your warranty. So I'll shut all of them back in there. Okay, so all of them back into the little box. We'll shut that to one side. Now what I'm going to do, I want to lift the very heavy motherboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically just take it out the box and then I'll move the camera for a closer look and we'll have a look at the motherboard. Okay, so here is the motherboard, and I think you might have to admit this is one of the prettiest motherboards on the market today. Now straight away what hits you is the shielding. So you've got all the shielding around here, comes all the way up here, buttons built into the shielding. You've got the heatsink and you've got this shielding up here over the I/O connections. Now all over the shielding you've got little lines and grooves. Now all these light up, also with the logo, with Maximus 8 up here, all lights up, RGB, and it's going to look lovely in my system. I hope it is anyway. Now starting from the top, what you've got is you've got your 8-pin connector. You've got one of 4 fan connectors, which also has a little temperature sensor where you plug the temperature sensor into. Now below that you have got this big heatsink here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these little rubber plugs, and basically this is where you add the water cooling. Now it is totally optional. You do not need to connect water cooling to these. It's totally by preference. Me personally, I haven't got to the stage where I'm confident enough to build a water cooling system, especially with parts as expensive as this. So, but hopefully one day when this is old, I may bite the bullet and I might do a water cooler system. You know, you don't learn things until you try it. So I'll plug them back in, keep them clean. So obviously it's EK fittings. I won't personally use that, but you know, it's totally by choice. You can either have normal like I will, or water cooled. So moving down slightly, you've got the CPU socket, you've got your 4 DIMM slots, you've got a digital readout for error codes up here. If you know, if your computer's not playing ball, you can look up the code that comes on here, and you can troubleshoot your motherboard that way. Underneath that, you've got your start button and reset. This is basically your power button and your restart button. Then below that, you've got your 24 pin power connector. Then right below that, you have got your 3.0 for your case USB slots. Now on my current Z87 motherboard, it sticks out like this, which, you know, for cable measurement you've got a loop like that. It's not the prettiest, even though I'm lucky enough to have a black cable for the case coming straight out and looping around, but I really do like the fact that it's on the side and it goes straight into the hidden away in the cable management. So moving down slightly, you've got another fan header with a temperature sensor header. This will be my exhaust fan, which will be here. Below that, you've got your first PCIe port. You've got 1, 2, 3 of the 2.0, and you've got 3 of the 3.0s. Now, like I say, I'll be running an SLI, so the 16 lanes from the CPU will be split down to 8 over on each one. Now the bottom one, this one, you can turn off and you can connect an M.2 drive, which is hidden underneath here, little screw there. Now that is an upgrade possibility for me in the future. That's why I like this motherboard. It's got great potential in the future, even though I'm maxing out the RAM and maxing out the CPU for what's compatible with it. I still have the option of water cooling, and I still have the option of M.2 storage in the future. Now over here we have got the serial ATA ports. So there's plenty of them. There's 8 normal size ones, and then down here what you've got is a U.2 port if you've got higher spec SSDs. So again, more future possibilities for myself. Over here we have got the Supreme FX logo, and underneath all this section is all your capacitors, things like that for the audio. Then along the bottom, what we've got is we've got the audio connectors for from the case. We've got your RGB port, RGB header, sorry. You've got another fan header. You've got your mem OK button. You've got a second USB 3.0 header. Then you've got 2 USB 2.0 headers, another fan connector, and you've got all the connectors for your case. Now just above the connectors for your case, what you've got is this little header here. Now what that is you can connect a controller card for more fans, which is obviously bought separate from Asus, but the options there. So say if you want to go mental with your fans, you've got more options there. Again, if I go water cooling, I could have, with this motherboard, I can control all the fans on say maybe 2 radiators, or if I go wild, maybe 3 radiators, but I doubt that. So yeah, that's basic overview of the motherboard. And yeah, now the last thing I want to do, I want to be very careful. So I want to flip it over, because I want to talk about, well, I want to show you at least the armor shield is not just on the front. So I'm going to be very careful now. Try not to damage it. It's my little baby. So here we have got the logo that you'll never see, Republic of Gamers, and this metal shielding. I love the fact that Republic of Gamers have gone to the extent of making this even though you're never going to see it. It's like a hidden beauty. So yeah, all in all, it's a pretty beautiful board. I'm just going to be careful again. So yeah, and time for a summary, I think. Okay, so there we have it, the unboxing of my new motherboard. Now, like I say, I'm not going to do an unboxing for the processor or the RAM because basically they're just small boxes and there's not much in them apart from paperwork and obviously the RAM sticks and the processor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit this video, I'm going to cut it up, get it online, get it uploaded, but this may be the last video I do on the i5 processor, so I want to take this opportunity to say thank you, little i5, you have served yourself marvellously. Well, I can't even say that right, man. I messed that up, didn't I? So yeah, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, but if you disliked it, hit the down button, but don't just do that. Leave me a comment and let me know where I went wrong, and yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off this bottle of beer and I'm going to grab another one and I'm going to see you guys later. So thank you.